What's good? What's good? Welcome to the podcast. I am that man
And
Reese,
I'm Prince Cowboy 88.
and together we make up the duo
Cold cheese,
Cold
cheese,
Cheese
and
and
hot
Hot
bullets.
Bullets.
Let's
What's
get it.
Cold Cheese? Cheese.
I'm trying to be in unison with you. I'm
Oh
trying to
man,
be
we
in
gotta get
unison.
that together,
Yeah,
baby.
we're trying to be in
Hey.
unison, but yeah,
Yeah, but today, man, we're gonna get into a lot of things, man. It's been a long time since we've been on this thing. I believe this is episode 4.
yes, it is. It's
Uh,
episode number 4.
Yes, sir. I almost wore my Brett Favre jersey, but with all the stuff that's going down with him, man, I don't want no problems. I ain't
Nah.
want no problems, man.
No.
But I got it up in the closet, man. It's still locked up. I got one with the autograph on it, so we good to go, man. But
Yeah.
anyway, we're gonna talk about a whole lot of stuff today. We're gonna
Yeah, you don't want to miss a bread fall. He been scamming and I've
nah.
been damning. So
No, yeah, we're not gonna talk about
he
that
been kicking
today,
it with the
man. So,
Nigerians.
hey, hold on, hold on. We're gonna ease it down real quick. We're gonna ease it down real quick, man. So, so yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about Tiger Woods and he's in a little bit of trouble.
A
So
little bit.
we're gonna talk about that whole situation. Then we're going to get into a little bit of NFL news. Of course, we're going to talk
Yes.
about Aaron
Oh
Rodgers.
yes.
That's close to
Sharon.
my heart. So we're going to deal a little bit in that one. And then we're going to talk about a question that's been going all over social media,
Yes.
talking about what does it really mean to be corny?
Corny.
What does it mean to be
What
corny?
does it
Right.
mean? What is it?
I know. Who knows today, man? These definitions are crazy.
Constantly
And then,
changing.
then lastly, we're going to talk about Marant and his whole situation because that's close to Tennessee, and we're going to talk about Michael Irvin as well.
Yeah, we
So,
definitely got to talk about
uh,
Mike.
yes, sir. So stay tuned. We're going to go ahead and get into this thing, but we're going to go ahead and drop the beat for y'all, the intro. Let's go.
Let's get it.
Good, what's good? Welcome back. We are so excited for episode 4 this week, man. It's been a long time coming. We typically
Long
have a
time.
video up for y'all every week, but of course we took some time to get some things in order, get some new equipment, get some updates in the technology for y'all,
Yes, sir.
so we can give y'all a better form of entertainment, as we always like to do for y'all. So let's go ahead and get into this topic of Tiger Woods, man. He's in a little trouble. So word on the street, allegedly, Erica Herman, who is the ex-girlfriend of Tiger Woods, is suing this man for $30 million, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a man.
30 million?
Bottom line,
I mean, what did he do for $30 million?
well, it was for domestic services, according to that's the keynote quote. She wanted 30 million because I think they was together for 6 years. They've been knowing each other for 10, but they actually got together in 6 years, and I think he was with her for a little bit before or right after the divorce or whatnot. So she was the next up in line after the wifey. But basically, how can I say this without being so blunt? It's a white privilege suit. Basically, that's basically what it is.
Yeah, because I'm trying to understand. So she signed an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, meaning that she can't tell anything that went down in the relationship. She can't really talk about Tiger Woods in the way she wants to. So I was looking at something, and they were pretty much saying with the only way that really she could get out of that is potentially, say it was a sexual assault or something like that to that degree.
Yeah, she got.
So if it's something on that level, then she could, have the courts reverse it, and then she could actually go into detail of what that is. But she actually has to prove that. She has to have definite proof that transpired for that to happen. But I'm like, Dad,
they had a
30 million.
Yeah, they had a verbal agreement about the quarters, the state quarters or whatnot. And after that 1 year was up, then it's non-inclusive no more. But the basic thing is, his house everything that he owns, he signed to an estate agreement. And that's what an estate agreement is basically what really rich people do by owning things without putting it in their name. So just in case they get in a situation like this, they can't take anything of theirs because it's under a disclosure of estate. So that's what really rich people do. If you up in them upper millions or early billions or just up in billions, this is what real rich people do to keep from getting their stuff taken. So he got his stuff signed underneath an estate status. So she cannot take really anything because it's not under his name directly. It's underneath the estate of where he stay at. And it's basically most of these rich people that lives around him, they got the same agreement. So just in case they want to get a young hot thing for a year or 2 or 3 years, they can't grandfather, or in her case, grandmother herself in to the quarters or to none of his money or estate, nothing like that. She just be a living, staying person of subject in the estate. So
what you pretty much saying, you and I never have to worry about that right now.
Yeah, because we ain't privileged enough to have that. But I'm talking about for the people that's really rich, for the very 1%, they have these certain claims to keep them protected. So if he want to be a playboy and have a girl stay at his house, be a guest for a day or a month or 2 years or a year or whatever, they can't godfather themselves because it's a clause where after, I think 7 years, if a woman stayed with you, then y'all legally married, and that's the reason why he did it. So he can, he can be a playboy. He can not really be penalized for it because nowadays the courts got it where they basically got laws for you being too successful. And if you're too successful and a female come in your life, she stayed for more than certain years, you know, women naturally feel entitled because they've been there. And women naturally want to call shots because she's in your day-to-day. So women they can't help themselves. They're going to have opinions after a while. So it gives him a chance to escape without all the legal obligation to come along with it. And she really don't have a case because the way Tiger Woods got this was so ironclad, because I was looking at another program about it, and he broke it down completely. He had the paperwork and everything. It's so ironclad, man. She just wasting her time. And then,
well, this is my thing, though. Not to cut you off, but I mean, he made now. I'm gonna look at Tiger for a moment.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to judge my brother for a moment.
Yeah.
Where does he continuously meet these women? Because obviously, from what I've read, allegedly she works as a manager for his restaurant.
To the words out my mouth.
Yeah, he's taking these. I don't want to say he's taking these lackluster women, and I'm gonna use that loosely. I don't want nobody to feel no type of way about this situation. But he's taking somebody out of a context that, you know, you and I know we wouldn't be able to do that. Like, we're going to bring somebody to the table that has something to offer. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, she didn't have anything to offer per se, because she did, obviously, for Tiger. But for me,
she had the obvious to offer, but not tangible.
Tangible.
Well, the question I got to raise to you is, with a man that has enough, as much money as Tiger Woods, what can a woman really offer to him other than the obvious?
I still want something. I'm just, because this week alone, there have been so many. I believe Deborah Lee from BET has come out and has talked about her relationship with Bob Johnson, the previous ex-owner of BET as well.
Yeah.
Her whole affair that she had with him. Now, I could see with all, you know, of course, I don't believe in adultery and all of that stuff. We're going to keep that out of, you know, this situation here. But, you know, I don't condone that. But at the same time, with Deborah Lee, she's coming in as an educated woman. She's bringing something to the table. That's attractive to me. I'm just saying, for me, I'm not saying this lady, Erica Herman, was not, you know, super intelligent or anything. But I just want a woman who's strong by herself. And from what I've seen with Tiger Woods, he just wants, you know, anything right now that's moving right now.
Well,
I mean, that's just me.
Well, you gotta look at it like this, and I say this often with guys like Tiger Woods that got as much money as he do. He been through the hot girl summer phase when he cheated on his wife with all the other, bad chicks that he was messing with. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and right. We don't have Tiger eyes, and Tiger always had eyes for the opposite race of women. Can I say the best looking? I don't know. That's based on the eye of the beholder. Me personally, his wife is, but hey, beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Keep my mouth closed.
Yeah, beauty is the eye of the beholder.
I don't want no problem.
Yeah,
this gonna be the episode. I don't want no problems, man.
I understand, but listen. At the end of the day, we're gonna keep it all the way real on the Cold Cheese and Hot Bullets podcast, and we actual men, we're actual wives. Actual beautiful wives, beautiful black wives, by the way. But at the end of the day, when you got as much money as Tiger Woods, he's at the point in his life, he wants companionship, but he's looking for it in all the wrong places. And if you're going to get a woman like that, at least get a woman that understands your situation and that's halfway on your side. She ain't got to be the best looking, but at least have her halfway on your side. So if something hit the fan, she gonna be moving on your behalf, not against your behalf. Stop sleeping with the enemy. That's what I'm saying, Tiger Woods. That's it.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, this whole case like $30 million.
Yeah.
Like, what did I do? I made you sign an NDA. You're mad that you can't really talk about it. And as we all know, when you don't sign that NDA, I'm free to talk about everything that went down in the relationship and whatnot, and I can make money off of that. So I see why he had her sign that, because he didn't want everybody to be in his in his personal business. And I mean, he learned a lot from his previous marriage.
Yeah, he did. And plus, he got his lawyers as his right hand man. One of his good friends is lawyers, so they pulled him aside and gained him up. So she don't have a case. It's basically I'm white and I say so, and it's so ironclad. She gonna get laughed up out of there. Real talk. She ain't getting nothing.
Well, we're going to keep our eyes on this subject as we always do with the Cold Cheese and Hot Bullets podcast. When we come back from this little break, we're going to talk a little bit about some NFL news, so stay tuned. All right, so we're back. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Cold Cheese and Hot Bullet podcast, where we give you everything that's going down with the Dallas Cowboys and, of course, my Green Bay Packers and everything in between. So let's go ahead and get into this NFL news. Of course, if you have not been listening to the streets or to the media or to nobody, the news on the street is he's on the move. Yes, and if you don't know who I'm talking about that man, Aaron Rodgers.
That bad man.
Look at the smile on my face when I tell you. Man, I hope it comes through. Hey. So, listen, I was looking at an interview the other day with Mark Murphy. Mark Murphy was at some type of game. I forget where it was, but they found him and they interviewed him. And they just pretty much said what's going on with Aaron Rodgers. And he said that, of course, he pretty much stated that, number one, they gave Aaron Rodgers the permission to go on out there and see what was out there. So I made a video on this recently, and I talked about the whole fact that we're both married. You know what I'm saying? We're both married to beautiful women. And it's sort of like you and I, if we decide to say to our wives, hey, babe, I don't care if you talk to that man over there. Go on and do what you're going to do. She's going to be like, what? Like, does he really care for me? Like, and this is where you can see the tables are starting to turn a lot more. Because Mark Murphy was pretty much bold in his stance. Yes, we agreed to allow Aaron Rodgers to see what was out there because we want what's best for him. And of course, we want what's best for us. And then this was another one, bro, that I thought was pretty significant. So Mark Murphy stated, if things don't go the way we want, he's pretty much saying that, Aaron Rodgers, you're going to have to choose, like, either you're going to have to do what we ask you to do, or you're going to have to go. Church. And that's pretty much, and with that, I can just take off the top of my head, off the top of my dome, bro. I'm saying it like this to Aaron Rodgers day one. We need you at OTAs day one. We don't need you out there hallucinating all over the place, hallelujah time. We need you to hallucinate, first of all, a Super Bowl. We need you to come on back in, and we need you to focus on the game and give us your 100%. Because at this time, I just don't feel like his head is in the game at this point. I believe I have read something that he's going to be speaking at a conference. I forget what the name of the conference is, but it's like a psychedelic conference or something like that. So I'm like, he's far out there, which is fine. Do as you please. But in this game, in this industry, in this business, people are paying you $50 million a year to move the football down the field. And bro, if you're not able to do that, then you are a hindrance to the Green Bay organization. And I'm gonna let you say what you need to say, and then we can talk a little bit about Jordan Love with all the changes going on. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, with Aaron Rodgers, it's always been a case of do as thou wilt, and in his situation, it's a good situation, but in the case of the Green Bay Packers as an organization, is a business agreement, because even though you sign a contract, you in a marriage, it's not good for the Green Bay Packers. Even though it's splendid for Aaron Rodgers, because he gets a chance to go on Pat McAfee's show and he gets a chance to hit all these other spots, but at the same time, he's airing out laundry that don't need to be told unless it's within the team. My biggest problem with Aaron Rodgers is it's not his talent, it's not his ability on the football field. It's just his lack of edification and his care about his team and his teammates and the best interest for everybody. One thing I will say with the new kid or whatnot, which we're going to get on him, he's going to start a new culture, and they see that, and I think they feel that, and I know they feel like, well, Aaron's almost 40 and it's that time to elevate and evaluate this new kid by the name of Love, Mr. Love. So at the end of the day, it's time for a new look. I said 2 years ago, I told you 2 years ago, I said, I know you backing your quarterback, but secretly they're getting tired of that mess. They're getting tired of all his shenanigans. I said, say what you want about my quarterback, but my team run through the wall for Prescott. I said, they starting to lose interest and they tired of that feminine energy. It's a bunch of men in here that were warrior mentalities, and they tired of that. Well, hey, I love you today and I hate you tomorrow. He's got too many mood swings, and it's got to go. Back to you.
All right, so in a recent report on FoxNews.com, it says that Aaron Rodgers trade details between Packers, Jets are essentially done. So there's a report right now that is pretty much stating that Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, pretty much, they're done talking. So it says the Green Bay Packers and the Jets have worked out what needs to be worked out regarding trade details, which are essentially done, according to a report. Sports New York notes that at this point, it's all the matter of whether Rodgers wants to be in New York. So, as I stated before, everything is on this man to make a decision. That's where the problem is going to come in. As you all know, at the end of the year, this season, the previous season, he stated, I'm going to let you guys know, exactly what's going on. And I'm not going to take a whole lot of time to decide if I'm going to come back or not. Well, last year he came back, I think, around the early part of March. I believe we're past that part at this point. Mm-hmm. So at this point, it is time for him to let the organization know something, because this is the time where they are planning on bringing in new talent to put around Aaron Rodgers or Jordan Love, and then also working with the existing talent that we currently have on the roster. And that's what I have to say. And the one thing that I have to say about Jordan Love right now, word on the street is he's already at work. You know what I'm saying? He's already putting in the work to prep and be ready for this season, because as he stated all year, I'm always ready to play just in case number 12 goes down. And see, the culture that he's bringing to the organization is going to be a lot different. Jordan Love is going to bring a new type of energy to the team that's going to elevate us. So I'm not really concerned about his play, his field play at this point, because from what I've observed over the past couple of seasons, his growth, we can see it. We can see it on the field from when the time he played Kansas City that one time when Aaron Rodgers had the whole situation with COVID-19. I know we're not supposed to say that, but it's over now. And then this year when he played against the Philadelphia Eagles as well. So I think he's going to be okay, and I'm looking forward to this season to see what he does in the season. Hopefully, it is Jordan Love that takes over for the Green Bay organization.
One last thing on this. I think Jordan Love he definitely will be taking over Houston Ace up in 9. But I think he's going to take it back to the foundation of your late, great Vince Lombardi. Basically, he's going to bring back that camaraderie that your late, great coach instilled in the Packers so many years ago. And he's going to bring that brotherhood and that whole camaraderie back and change the culture. So he's going to bring it back to the original concept and the basis of what Green Bay was built on. And that says a lot because I'm a Cowboy fan, but I got much love for what that original coach, Vince Lombardi, he had a basis of that, and he's gonna be the antithesis of that whole concept. So I think y'all gonna go back to the basis, and y'all gonna bring it back to that old time Packer when there was real brotherhood. It ain't just the team is brother; it's a brotherhood, and the quarterback is a celebrity. I think he's gonna be one with the team, so I think it's gonna be good for Green Bay, and I think y'all gonna raise hell in the NFL for here on out.
Yeah, and I know you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, but you sound like you're a Packer lover too. So we got applications out there if you need to.
No, it's just Landry. It's just Landry and Vardy. They have a history together, so you can't mention the Cowboys without the Green Bay Packers because we had legendary battles.
Yeah, but you come on.
No, never did. I'm always a part of the star. That star is more attractive than that G, and I love Landry. Landry was a silent killer, but Vince Lombardi, he was a prophet. He was a pathetic, prophet of football and an apostle. I like to call him the apostle. He was like the Apostle Paul of football with his philosophy, and I love his philosophy. So yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna work on him, man.
Yeah,
he'll become a cheesehead.
No. I love that star, baby. I love my star.
Yes, sir. We're gonna work on him a little bit, man. But all right, so once again, we're going to take another break, and once we get back, we're going to talk about this question that has been floating all over social media. What does it really mean to be corny? All right? So when we get back, we'll get into this. All right, welcome back. All right, so as I stated previously, we're getting ready to get into this discussion that's all over social media right now. So there was a situation that went down and with Michael B. Jordan. So Michael B. Jordan has this new movie out, Creed 3, which I really want to go see. I didn't get to go see it this week, but we're going to have to hold off. And my son was talking about he wanted to go see it. I was like, you ain't even seen number 1 and number 2, nor the Rockies. So, so we got to go and do some history stuff before we get up here. But anyway, so Michael B. Jordan was called out by a journalist for saying that he was corny, and she says it never happened. That's what she said. But of course, there's evidence of that on her podcast as well. She has a podcast allegedly out there.
I think with Angela.
I don't know if it was Angela or not, but they were talking about, they went to school she went to school with Michael B. Jordan. But anyway, we're not going to talk about him. And this is how we just got into this conversation. What makes somebody corny? And all the things I've been seeing people talk about is, number one, with Michael B. Jordan, they stated that he brought his what's that little picture thing that like some facial pictures or what's modeling pictures or something like that.
Face shots for the entertainment.
Face shots and stuff to the school. He would bring them to school, and they say he was corny for doing that, and or the nice guys are typically the ones that's corny. Now, I got a lot to say about that, and you and I both possibly, I believe that we would agree wholeheartedly on that. Why is it that the guys that want to treat the women nicely, want to make sure you good, take care of you, got a good job, got a good head on their shoulders, want to read a book every now and again, oh, you corny. But when it comes down to the people that's no good, those are the ones that we want. Like I'm really lost on how these things have flipped. Definitely in our community where we're calling people corny, those are the people that we need to be, looking up to. Per se, like if you're going to school trying to better yourself, if you're trying to become more educated, if you're reading books and things like that, or trying to change your community, those are the people that we call corny. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
what in the world is going on here, bruh?
Well, it's basically the case of the responsible guy finished last and the irresponsible finished first. Uh, Listen, when you young or whatnot, good is corny and bad is good or whatnot. And let me put it like this: usually the edgy kids, the ones that get in trouble, the potential delinquent juvenile baits later on become jail baits are the attractive ones because they're young, brash, and disrespectful. And in high school, that gets the most attention with the ladies because in our teenage years, we are the most rebellious. It's when we got the most testosterone, and that's when women got a lot of estrogen bouncing around. So as young kids, we're looking for excitement. So the guy that wants to be responsible, the mature guys, the corny guys are the mature guys. The ones that think like adults as teenagers are considered corny because they're not out there being reckless. So reckless is always put as the excitement ones, or the ones that's daring, and the ones that's responsible, like a Michael B. Jordan. He was planning on his future. He was manifesting Hollywood before Hollywood manifested him, and he was considered to be corny because when you doing shows like The Wire, and I think he was still in high school. He was young. He was fresh out of middle school going into high school. You can't be out there doing nothing wild because you're a part of a big production entertainment system. So they want to make sure he stays out of trouble. He's good for business. And while he was young, he had responsibilities as a grown man to show up on set on time, to run his lines, to be the best athlete he can be, while she said she had time to lounge around and be a normal teenager. He wasn't a normal teenager. He was pretty much, you can precisely say he was a child actor or whatnot. So he was already out there handling his business and starting his career early. And the simple fact that he wasn't out there doing normal teenage stuff, getting into ruckus, getting into mischief, and all the rest of that, he was considered corny. And plus, he didn't develop into that manly body. He was still a young, scrawny kid that, probably was into comic books or Pokemon or what was hot back in the day. So the righteous ones and the ones that put their best foot forward to be the best adults they possibly can be as teenagers are considered corny, and the reckless ones are always the fad, the wave, the vibe, and style. We want him now because he's on our frequency. So Michael B. Jordan was always more mature for his age, and that's basically what it is.
And then my thing, good thoughts right there, bro. Because I'm thinking about the men who have called him out for calling this young lady out. Now I don't know the lady. I've never listened to her podcast, but of course, maybe she did it on purpose just to get people to watch her podcast. I'm not sure how popular their podcast is, but at the same time, I'm just the guys who are calling out Michael B. Jordan for calling this young lady out. First of all, people are like, well, obviously it hit a nerve because, he brought it back up. Look, nobody gets over anything. Let's be quite honest. People remember what happened to them that made them what they become today.
We're only human.
I'm only human. I can go back and look at, recall some of the things that made me who I am as a man today. But, some of the things that we go through in life, they really alter how you think about things. And for like Joe Budden, I believe he was one of them calling him out. He called him several names on that on his podcast. And I'm like, bruh, that man can say whatever he wants to say. He can say whatever he wants to say. In this culture that we live in now, it's sort of like everyone has to be hush about everything. Like you can't say how you feel. Oh, that was corny for you to say. Listen, if I have an issue with a man or a woman, I can say exactly how I feel about that situation and move on from it. But for me not to say something,
yeah,
that's crazy. That's asinine. How can we change this whole narrative about, oh, this brother over here is corny and this and we got to get out of that mindset. We really have to, because I'm just talking about our community right now. Anybody else that's listening, keep listening, but I'm talking about our community right now. We got to get out of that mindset, out of that whole thinking that I want the bad dude, because the bad dude is, yes, he's going to bring you excitement. He's going to bring you all of these things. But at the same time, what is he going to do for you later on down the line?
Yeah.
Because I got a daughter. I'm going to tell you straight up. I don't want my daughter talking to somebody who's no good.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he doesn't necessarily have to go to college, but he needs to do something.
Yes, something.
But if you sitting at home, then we got a whole different problem. So yeah, I mean, I just think we gotta think differently about, you know, what we're putting out into the atmosphere right now in our culture, man, because it's setting us back, and we don't need any help going backwards. We're already there, so
we are. And one thing, let me get on Joe Budden real quick. I got a bone to pick with him.
Hold on, man. Let's keep
I'm a light skinned cat. He made light skinned dudes look real bad. And this is a message to Joe. I hope he see this. For all the women you done smacked around in your past life, you should be the last person to call anybody corny. But I know why you called him that, because you a simp. And any light-skinned, wavy hair Latino, because the old girl's a Latina, light-skinned Latina chick that looks good, you gonna take her side because you are big on light-skinned, wavy hair Hispanic chicks or Afro Hispanic chicks. But anyway, dude, quiet. I don't need to hear nothing about you calling nobody corny. Your rap career is corny. And yeah, when Method Man smacked the heck out of you back in the day, yeah, you corny. You got smacked around by the Wu-Tang Clan and you did nothing, because you know what? That Wu was going to get up in you. So quiet, dog. You need to be quiet and just continue to be successful in your podcast, because your love life ain't the most player, homie. Player, play on. Church tabernacle. I'm out. Anyway.
I think we're going to end it on.
Yeah. Out of here. Don't call this man Michael B. Jordan corny. And I believe she did, because hey, back in her day, she was light-skinned, wavy hair, Spanish-speaking. Hey, her stuff didn't stink. So, Michael B. Jordan, she didn't see a future in him. But now, since he's hot, hell, he's bigger, way bigger than she is. And boy, she was blushing. In fact, her little stuff was wet when she was talking to Mike. And you can tell it. You can tell it.
We're gonna end it on this note right here. Hey,
look at me now. Mike's flexed on her. And I ain't mad. He ain't corny. He been through all the hell when he was going to high school. Now I was flex too. Corny, right? And you seen that little smile he had, that little evil smile, corny, right? Really? Yeah. Out of here.
And she was like, I
see. You know it was true because you were baffling. I didn't mean that.
If I would have known.
If I would have known, Daddy. I'm sorry, Poppy. Poppy, if I would have known.
Yeah.
Poppy Chulo. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir, man. So look, we're gonna go ahead and end this section before we get in trouble, man. We're gonna get into some trouble, bro. We're gonna get into trouble. We're gonna turn it up.
Turn it up. Turn it down.
We're gonna turn it up, man. That's it. What other hit did he have? I don't even recall any other songs, bro.
Man, he had that was that, and then he had that slow song that I like, Come and Take a Walk with Me. That was a cool song. He was talking Truth to Power, but that was the only hit that he really had to everybody remember. And that was a dope song. That was a nice hot song. It was on that dance movie that your folks was on. B2K was on.
Oh, my folks.
No, it
wasn't my folks.
No. It was on that B2K. You had B2K, and then you had Marcus Houston, Steve Harvey, and all them guys or whatnot. I forget.
You Got Served.
You Got Served.
Man,
you got served. That was the
terrible.
Yeah, the anthem was terrible, but the dance scene was dope, and that's what you was there for. Yeah, I mean, so that was back in 03, 02 or whatnot, when they was at the height of their fame.
That goes back 20 years, bro.
Pump it up. Come on.
All right, man, we're gonna end this one. Hey, when we come back, man, we're gonna talk a little bit about Ja Morant, man, and his whole situation. And stay tuned. We'll be back for more shenanigans, man, with Cold Cheese and Hot Bullets. Go ahead and get into this about Ja Morant, and then we're going to squeeze in the story with Michael Irvin. So we're going to talk about these two guys in the same segment. So let's first start off with Ja Morant. So Ja Morant, as we all know, he had a little bit of trouble, or he's been in a little bit of trouble for the last couple of weeks due to this whole incident that went down in Colorado where he was showing a gun on IG. And initially it was only supposed to be a 2-game suspension, or he was going to physically take a step away from the game for 2 games, and then I don't believe that the NBA or the Grizzlies are calling it a suspension, but they added 4 more games to it, I believe. So he stated that he's pretty much going to take time, get away, get himself some help. But we just got finished talking about what's corny. And I just read today, a couple of hours ago, it says the following the event of showing the gun with the gun incident, Ja Morant has been suspended by the NBA. The Memphis Grizzlies statement said that the basketball player will not be playing any other games up until March 15th, while the team works on the appropriate sanctions for his actions on social media. Now, listen to this. Now, this is what's corny right here. This is what we were just talking about. In the midst of his suspension, Coca-Cola has pulled its Powerade ad that spotlighted Morant. Losing out on money, bro. You got a family to think of. You got your daughter to think of. This is corny behavior. If Joe Budden want to call out what's corny, that's what's corny.
Yes, that's definitely corny.
If anybody want to call that out, that's what we consider as grown men. And I almost said something else, but I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to say it like this. If you are missing your opportunities for bad decisions, that's corny.
That's definitely corny.
Nobody forced you to go in there and show a gun on IG. And I love Ja Morant, man. He's a beast on the court, man. And hopefully we can sit down and talk to him on an interview one day. I mean, it's a Tennessee thing, baby, as 3-6 Mafia said. So it's nothing for us to drive down to Memphis. So what's your thoughts on that, bro?
Yeah, that's definitely corny, man. You do not try to mess up the bag by stepping into a reverse role, meaning that you're trying to go back to the streets. The whole purpose of making it to the NBA is to get up out the streets, keep your head straight, keep your wisdom well laced, and basically just progress, improve, and get better from there. Why step back to go to something that he's gonna lead you to jail or death or whatnot? Leave the streets alone. Leave your Tupac fantasies alone. Leave your Biggie, kicking the door and wave the 4-4 alone. It's over with. You are now a corporate entity.
Hey, don't bring Biggie.
I'm saying.
You almost took me back.
But he's on that.
Waving the 4-4.
Yeah. He got to drop that. He got to drop that.
Yes, sir.
Now you in the NBA. You are now, whether he like it or not, when you make the NBA and you a superstar, all-star, you are your own brand. You are your own brand. I'm not the biggest LeBron fan, but one thing I can say about LeBron, he have shown these young players how to navigate their own brand. And when you become a monarchy name, when you become a cornerstone, when you become a entity, you got to carry yourself like an entity because you are the entity. It's just like the Bible said, the church is the body. You are the body. The church is inside you. Now, with him, he's the brain. He's the brain.
The church
He's the body of the brain. So be the embodiment of your brain and carry yourself properly. So if you want to carry a gun, make sure you get security. You have the money to do that. So instead of you holding the gun, you get the armed security to hold the gun. Make sure he wear a black V-neck with the little blazer and the black trousers and maybe some black J's or some slacks, and he carried the gun. Now, I don't care about the money that you throwing. $50,000, you got that. Now, if I do that, I'll be divorcing without a home. Now, you can do that because you got the bag to do that. You own that level.
200. Hey, 5 year, 200 potential, $231 million deal.
Yes, he got that.
Not to mention what else is there. Don't mess up the bag.
Yes,
bruh. Don't mess it up.
Secure the bag.
Hey.
And that's not being an Uncle Tom. That's not being a. That's just being a man about his business. I was always taught as a child. It was an old saying that, old OGs used to pull me aside. They used to tell me, handle your business before your business handle you. He need to handle his business before his business handle him. And in his definition, his endorsements will pull out, and then he ain't got no choice but to be humble. So before he get the humble pie, he need to humble himself before they start knocking on the door saying he want that cash back. That contract ain't came through. So he need to watch himself, man. He's doing too much out here on these streets.
And see, this is another thing, man. Like as we get older, he's only 23. But my pops always used to convey to us, hey, watch the company that you keep.
Yes.
Like the people that you keep around you can be your influence more than anything, and can cause you more problems than anything. You may not be doing a thing, but those people that you have around you are either encouraging you to do that, or if they're seeing you doing something, they're not telling you, hey, bro, that's not safe.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always been told to keep friends around me, people around me that's going to look out for me. And I'm just telling you, John, and as a young man, as a young adult, we've both been there. But at the same time, you might have to look at your friends as well, because your friends, if they're around you while you're doing this craziness, then you probably need to get rid of your friends as well. But we don't want no smoke. We're just telling you how we're really looking at this, and we're just being very objective about it. We just want you to know that you got a family. Your obligations have to change. Your mindset has to change in order for you to really reach your full potential. You're 23. You have the time to take over this league. LeBron, my boy just mentioned LeBron James. LeBron James is eventually about to be out.
Mm-hmm.
Steph Curry, so all these guys, they're going to eventually be out of this game. And it's going to be you there, Tatum and all these other young cats, but you can be in the top of that game if you just keep your head straight, keep your head right, man. But anyway, we're not going to talk too much about that. Like I said, maybe we have to drive down to Memphis, man, and talk to Ja in person, man. That would be a great interview. So hopefully he can see this video and we can get it going. But anyway, let's talk about your man, big time Michael Irvin.
Hey, you got to say it right. It's Michael, the playmaker, Irvin.
Man, look, Michael Irvin, let's go with
the playmaker. You got to say it right, bro. He earned that. He earned that.
I've never said anything negative about Michael Irvin. I'm just saying, his ties be super big. But, outside of that, and some of his colors that he decided to put on. But outside of that, he good.
Hey.
Going with it. I don't need no pointer at the hat, man. Let's go.
In 88, we trust, man. In 88, we trust. Hey, listen here, bro. Man, the way I feel about it, it was a setup from the start.
Or maybe I should just break it down.
Yes, break it down.
You're going to slow walk.
Yeah.
We need to go on to get in. So Michael Irvin is in a battle with the Marriott right now. So back during the Super Bowl week, he was scheduled to do a lot of interviews and things of that nature, and his job was cut short due to an alleged situation that happened at the Marriott with a young lady there who worked at the Marriott, and he was pretty much pulled from both of his jobs and sent to the sideline until further notice. So he initially, came out with a video, talked about it a little bit, and he later decided to sue the Marriott for $100 million allegedly for what happened with that whole situation. Now, the funny issue about all of this is, and I think you will go more into detail about it, is if there was an alleged assault of some sort, for you not to call the police. I thought the police were the individuals who were to investigate the alleged assault. Instead of calling the police, you decide to call my boss.
Bosses.
Which is a problem because, hey, if I have a problem, if somebody's breaking into my car, I'm not going to call my wife and tell her, hey, somebody just broke into my car. Can you come over here and help me or aid me in this situation? I'm going to call the people with the guns, the people that can investigate what happened, what transpired, and to be on the lookout for my vehicle that has been stolen or broken into.
Exactly.
I'm not going to call somebody that has nothing to do with the situation first and foremost, but also I'm not going to call anyone that can't help me. Like, the only thing they're going to do is discipline me in some type of way. And that's exactly what the NFL did. Instead of, really dealing with the situation, waiting on the investigation to go through, you take me and put me on the sideline, and now I'm not able to do my job. And once again, you're taking money out of my mouth, out of my family's mouth, as well as my mouth. And not only that, you're hurting my brain. See, we're staying pretty consistent tonight. Going from corny to a corny activity that's making people lose money. But not only that, we talked about John Marant with the brand, and now this man's brand has been harmed potentially due to an alleged assault that we don't even know happened tonight.
Exactly. And
so now that I've broken it down, then you can go ahead and slow walk it. I already know you got this time for. Man, go, Michael Irvin.
And the irony about it is, they will not show the videotape, and we all know me and you both being black men. We know if we actually did something wrong, the first thing they would have done was throw that videotape out there.
Video been up.
Yes. So obviously it's not a situation. And the Reticence Marriott Hotel, that was the other name I was trying to think of. It's the Reticence Marriott because, these hotels got, naming rights to own the Marriott name or vested interest on the Marriott, just like you got the Hyatt Marriott. I think it was the Reticence Marriott in Arizona where this went down there. And that's the battle that the lawyers are having. The lawyers are saying, well, listen, if we both agree that there's no foul play, and you're saying it and I'm saying it, why won't you give me the tape or let me see the tape or put it out there worldwide so everybody can be a judge for themselves? They know they messed up and they know they have no case, so they're stalling left and right with it. The irony of it is, it was a Philadelphia media personality that was a witness for Michael Irvin, and the fan base can't stand each other, but he's vouching for Michael Irvin. Of course, the 2 or 3 other white guys that he was with was vouching for him because that was his little entourage that was vouching for him. So it's a lot of people that's pointing at her and saying that she's lying. And you know the old saying, if I'm lying, I'm flying. And right now, Marriott is flying right now because they're nervous and they're scrambling because they know they don't have a case. And most likely they're going to have to pay out some pain and suffering for this situation because Michael Irvin obviously is suffering because his money is on the dime. It's on the line and he's out of a dime right now, but he's okay. I'm sure, he still got previous money from back in the day. But still, you wasting this man's time for nothing, and you also causing a lot of pain and suffering that's unnecessary when you know, and his lawyers know, and Mike knows in his heart of hearts that he hasn't did anything wrong, and it's a publicity stunt. And I think it was set up from the start because they went straight to ESPN and most importantly the NFL Network to call and let them know. It's almost like they was expecting it or they was setting up a situation. It seemed like she was planning, and that's how I feel. Maybe that's I got the, excuse me for having the aluminum for a kufi, but I think that was set up. So that's how I feel about it because he went straight to the jobs. He didn't call the police. He went straight to his bosses. And that's why I said it's something iffy about that.
Now, I'm looking at this from the Dallas Morning News that was posted actually on the 10th of March. And it says, for the first time Friday, Marriott disclosed specific details about a female employee's accusations. against Michael Irvin in a hotel lobby conversation that occurred in Phoenix last month. It says that the Marriott revealed that they count in a motion filed in the federal court according to the document, and it goes down, talks about all of that. And then it says Irvin asked what she did for work, told her that he found her attractive, shook her hand, and introduced himself as Michael, according to the document. When she said that she didn't follow the NFL, he directed her to search his name on the internet sometime. Irvin also reached out and touched the victim's arm during this conversation without her consent, causing her to step back, becoming visibly uncomfortable. Marriott attorney Nathan Chapman wrote in the document. Irvin then asked the victim whether she knew anything about having a big black man inside of her. Taken aback by Irvin's comments, the victim responded that his comments were inappropriate and she did not wish to discuss it further. Irvin then attempted to grab the victim's hand again and said he was sorry if he had brought up bad memories for her. The victim pulled her hand away and tried to back away from Irvin as he continued to move towards her. Now, remember this altercation from everybody saying, hey, I'm looking at your face, man. Look. Because that's not what we've heard from anybody that was standing in the midst of the conversation. Allegedly, what transpired. Others are saying other things. So, this conversation, from what everyone is saying, was about 45 to 50 seconds of time. So I guess it doesn't take a whole lot of time to say what you need to say to get the job done. But I don't know what to think about it, bro. I just know this much. You and I both can say this, and we can vouch for this. If it was you and I, even if we were paid or not, if we were wrong, if we were guilty, there would be a tape, and that tape would be released.
Yes.
I'm not concerned about a document. A document does not really show me anything. It's telling me what your victim or who said what and what transpired in the other person's words. What I need is actual visible proof on what transpired, so I can read this document and I can go step by step what happened. Not what she's saying, not what Michael Irvin is saying. I need to be able to see the tape and see it for myself. Now, if she backed away and he approached her, then that's a whole different situation. But for somebody to stand up here and immediately say what they need to say and then immediately turn around and file $100 million lawsuit against you, I don't see that being a person that's guilty at this point. Now, maybe he was just too drunk to even recall the incident, or maybe she was too drunk. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I wasn't there. But at the same time, the Marriott is not making this very easy for people to follow, because if you have a videotape and you took this young lady's words for it to be accurate and accurate enough and true enough for you to call this man's bosses, then you should feel confident on releasing this tape to the public. It does not take that long to release a tape, unless it's something else that you're not sharing. So we're gonna keep our heads to the ground, man, and see what's going on, man. But it's so much going on in the world today, man, in sports and just all across the board, man, that we could talk about. We could stay on this podcast for hours, man, but we don't have that much time. So any last words for you, bro?
Man, my last words on that whole Michael Irvin thing is, a little white lie would go farther than the righteous black truth, and I think that's the case in this situation. With this whole Michael Irvin situation, listen, that statement sound like a bad Danielle Steele / Blaxploitation strip or whatnot, and it was only just 1 minute and 45 seconds. Now, I have actually seen the videotape, and then none of that transpired. Everybody was laughing and kikiing, ha ha. In fact, she was sitting down and he was standing up I think she was sitting down on the couch among some friends, and he was standing up close to his friends at the bar. So I didn't really see any embrace or touch. That's probably maybe before the tape, the touch or whatnot. Then he reached over and gave her a handshake. He went on about his business, but she was still laughing and kicking. She wasn't doing no stepping back. And oh my God, the big black man is about to hurt me. So all that right there is white dancer in distress, and it's another case of I'm white and I say so, and white privilege. So at the end of the day, all that's nonsense. I actually seen the videotape, and ain't none of that going down. Michael Irvin said his piece. You know, they laughed real quick, and then he went back to his homeboys or his guys that he was kicking, or his party that he was kicking it with, and everything was good. She was still laughing amongst her friends, and Michael Irvin got back to what he was doing. So, like I said, I believe Michael Irvin 100%. This man done had a lot of stuff in his past he done did. He ain't proud of, and I think he's truly and righteously on the road to redemption. Plus, he getting too old for all that. So, Michael Irvin ain't got the energy he used to have, and he ain't on that happy powder that he used to be on back in the day. So, he ain't got that energy. He ain't got that energy like that no more.
Yeah, I wouldn't even go there, but you went there with it.
Mike Irvin, hey, we love Mike regardless. And we Cowboy fans, we love Mike. We know Mike was a party, and he came from the U. So he came, and then he played for the U back when Luke was the hottest, the height of his career. So he was doing wild stuff before the NFL. So that wasn't just overnight. It came from by being down there at the U and kicking it with Luke and them guys back in the day. 2 Live Crew. But yeah, that's another story for another time. I'm just being real.
Have a whole lot of segments on that. But yeah, man, we appreciate you guys checking out the Cold Cheese and Hot Bullets podcast for episode number 4, baby. And y'all stay tuned to many more to come. And if you have yet to subscribe to this channel, please do so. Like this episode right here. Tell your friends, tell your buddies about this channel, because we got some hot fire coming for y'all. Of course, we got the merchandise coming. We got all types of things coming for y'all. So stay tuned, all right? And of course, we got to sign off with our Green Bay Packers and our Dallas Cowboys, man. Every week we give y'all breadcrumbs of what's going on with our teams, but on these episodes we talk about everything in between. So with that being said, we're going to sign off this piece, and we'll holler at y'all later. Peace.